If you wanted to move every US soldier and their equipment out of Europe all at once, you'd be dealing with about 100,000 humans and roughly 5 million tons of steel, electronics, and very expensive boxes of crackers. The North Atlantic Treaty is often described as a shield, but from a logistical perspective, it's more like a 75-year-old extension cord that has been taped over so many times, it is now technically part of the wall. Unplugging it isn't a legal move, it's a demolition project. The first thing we have to look at is the mass energy problem. Moving that much hardware back across the Atlantic would require a bridge of cargo ships stretching halfway to the horizon. If you tried to do it all by air, the carbon footprint alone would be enough to give a climatologist a localized stroke. We're talking about shifting the weight of 500 Eiffel Towers from one side of the planet to the other simply because the paperwork changed. But the real physics of the breakup is found in the standardization agreements, or STANAGs. These are the 1,200 invisible rules that ensure a Dutch radio can talk to a Polish tank. It's the reason why, currently, the Western world is one giant, interchangeable machine. Without the US acting as the central hub for these standards, we get systemic friction. Over time, European militaries would undergo a kind of technological drift. Within a decade, a bolt manufactured in Italy might not fit into a bracket made in Estonia. You'd end up with a continent full of proprietary warfare, a world where your defense strategy is only as good as your ability to find a specific power adapter in a combat zone. Then, there's the problem of the nuclear umbrella. For decades, the US deterrent has acted exactly like a real umbrella, a single massive canopy covering the whole group. As long as the US is holding it, nobody else feels the need to carry their own gear. But if the person holding the umbrella suddenly walks away, the rest of the group have to open their own umbrellas. The problem is, in geopolitics, opening your own umbrella means building a nuclear weapon. Suddenly, countries like Poland or Germany have to seriously consider building their own nuclear arsenals. We transition from a stable setup where one person is managing a single predictable canopy to a crowded room where a dozen nervous people are suddenly popping open spring-loaded umbrellas with sharp metal tips, all while trying very hard not to accidentally poke their neighbors in the eye. We've spent 75 years making sure the Western world's military operates like one giant, boring, perfectly synchronized machine. If the US walks away, Europe doesn't just lose an ally. They lose the IT department that forces everyone to use the same operating system. In the end, it turns out that global peace isn't just maintained by handshakes and high-minded ideals. It's mostly maintained by the sheer convenience of everyone's fuel nozzles being the exact same shape.